Lavella Earl goes matched up with a speedy guard. Great screen, spin move, layup, he missed it. Williamson fights for the board. His putback is good.
Welcome, everybody, on this Tuesday afternoon. I guess it's not quite afternoon yet. It's still 10 after 11 here in Statesboro, Utah. Live from Burns Arena. You can probably hear the music in the background. Seattle U women's basketball is warming up right now as we get ready for this first 8-9 matchup playing game here at the WAC 2025 WAC tournament. Seattle U2 is tonight hosting or playing Utah Tech with the 8th seed here on their home floor. So, Daryl, we're going to miss you this week. Hopefully, maybe you got feeling better. Maybe you're going to be on a plane tomorrow. But, man, we're going to miss you this week.
Doubtful. Just not sounding right.
Yeah, it's that time of year, so totally feel you. But let's talk about this women's game. You've been covering women's basketball season. These two teams just met on Saturday in Seattle, where the Redhawks got the 69-65 win over the Trailblazers. Back on January 16th, Utah Tech beat the Redhawks here at Burns Arena 80-70. So what are you looking for in this game? Obviously, it's pretty evenly matched because both teams have one win in WAC play. Not very good season for either team. And then they get to move on to face GCU tomorrow at Orleans Arena. So what do you think about this first game?
I mean, realistically, you want to go out playing your best basketball. So even if you do get fed to GCU tomorrow and you lose by 30 or 40, so be it. At least you can say you won a game in the WAC tournament.
Yeah.
And for Seattle U, that would mean, even if it's just 2 wins in WAC play and they're both against Utah Tech, at least they head to the WCC on some semblance of a decent note. Like I mentioned the other night, that win Saturday meant they were the last team nationally to win a game in conference play this year. But can they do it in the Burns where Utah Tech, they don't lose that much in the Burns. I mean, and they're competitive in the Burns.
Yeah, it's basically a home game for both Utah Tech teams today because we're here at Burns Arena in St. George. It wasn't planned that way. That's not why, we're playing here at Burns. The WAC has rented out this arena for these playing games. I don't think they expected at least both Utah Tech teams to be here, but it happened that way. So that's just the way it's going to be done. Who needs to have a big performance for both the Redhawks and for the Trailblazers in this first game?
I'm looking at Ellie Taylor, Emily Isaacson for the Trailblazers. And then for the Redhawks, Candy Ito-Paibe has been playing well recently. And then I need to see something from Sydney Rodriguez for Seattle U to have a chance in this one.
It's the final, so this is the last hurrah for the Redhawks in the WAC tournament because they go to the WCC next year. It's the right move. Seattle U belongs to the West Coast Conference. So I saw Skylar Wilson walk in, head coach of Seattle U, and I don't know if it was a focus face or it was an angry face that they had to come all the way to St. George to play this game today. I'm sure he didn't want to peek in this game, but either way, it'll be very interesting to see what happens here in the first game. Utah Tech just tends to play better. They've got their band over here right next to me. They get the home locker room, so that's good, where their men are going to be in the away locker room in this next game. So should we expect a high-scoring game today here at Burns Arena to start this 2025 WAC tournament?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, what was Saturday's final? 69-65. I haven't even watched the film from that game yet. But two teams that like to get up and down, that like to put some points on the board. I wouldn't be shocked at all if we ended up in that same ballpark this time around.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially with the way that Utah Tech is known for putting up 3-pointers. I think they're top 10 or top 5 in the country nationally for attempts.
Yeah, you can hear the band going right now. Like I said, it's the whole band too. It's spring break here in St. George for the Trailblazers. I'm not sure how many students are going to be here today for both games, or at least one of the games. But look for Emily Isaacson to light it up for the Trailblazers. She does that here in Furnace Arena. Chardonnay Hartley has been a really good point guard for JD Dustin's crew, who obviously have been banged up with injuries because the Warriors has been bringing out the entire year. So it'll be very interesting to see how the game goes. We know in women's basketball, Daryl, that the momentum can shift so quickly from quarter to quarter. I mean, that's the beauty of having the quarter, I don't want to say
The quarter system.
Right? Instead of having half, where you get that 10-minute break or that break in between each 10 minutes. It's that extra media timeout type deal. And it's like teams can flip a switch from quarter to quarter.
Yeah, and it's where the adjustments come in. And honestly, I think the women's rules committee has it right. I was saying this last night on Twitter and some debate about the men's rules versus the women's rules. I think the women's rules committee got it right. I mean, if you think about it, what was I watching yesterday? I was watching a WCC semifinal. They blew right through one of the medias. In a men's game, if you blow through one of the medias, you get 2 medias right on top of each other. In the women's game, you just get the one. You don't have to worry about it.
It's interesting that I'm interested to see if the men will ever change. Because I know Jay Phillips said it on ESPN the other day that the men's game needs to change to 4 quarters because it's the only, men's college basketball is the only level of basketball where there's not 4 quarters. So it'll be very interesting to see. So should be a fun one here in the first playing game. 8-9 playing game. Obviously, Seattle U is the 9th seed. Utah Tech is the 8th seed. The winner faces GCU, WAC regular season champs, who are on a 26-game win streak, 29-2 overall. Tomorrow afternoon at noon Pacific time at Orleans Arena. So I don't know. It feels like a NCAA tournament type playing game here, just because you get that boost of having won a tournament game, right? And then you get to go face the 1 seed who has been very, very good all season. That's what it kind of feels like.
In a way, if you think about it, this is basically a first 4 game in Dayton.
This is a 16 versus 16 type game. Yeah.
With the winner getting fed to the 1, and unlike some of the 16 seeds, I don't think either one of these 16s would have much of a chance tomorrow.
Hey, you never know. With the distractions going on with Molly Miller and all the talk of her interviewing with maybe Missouri or with Arizona State, you never know how that could play into all of this. So that'll be very interesting to keep an eye on.
Yeah, but Kyle, like I said, I mean, if she takes ASU, I think that's career suicide. You can't win.
How mad? I want people who are GCU fans that are watching this right now. How mad would you be if Molly Miller left GCU for Arizona State? I want to know your thoughts. So comment and share those with us, because I'm very curious. I tell people the GCU fans would. Oh man!
I know our buddy.
GCU fan, I'd be so mad if she went to Arizona State.
Yeah, I mean, I know our buddy Braden Bell's over there, but I'm sorry. Just Natasha Adair had a great record at Delaware. Took him to the WNIT and NCAA, and she couldn't even win 10 games between the Big 12 and the Pac-12. That's got to say it's volumes.
Arizona State.
Yeah, but twice.
So yeah, let's just go with that. Yeah.
Now Missouri, I can't blame Missouri for making overtures and expressing interest. I mean, that's them trying to bring her home.
Right.
But ASU to me would be complete career suicide.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. So, anyways, we're going to come back 30 seconds. We'll talk about the men's game this afternoon at 2:30 between Southern Utah and Utah Tech. Got a little snippet of information for those who will be paying attention. Let's just say I'd be really shocked if Utah Tech doesn't win on their home floor this afternoon. So we'll be right back. 30 seconds, coming back. All right, guys, we're back here at Burns Arena getting ready for this first play-in game of the 2025 WAC tournament. These games are being played at Burns Arena in St. George. The winners get to face the one seed on both the men and women's side. So you get to face GCU. Seattle U or Utah Tech gets to face GCU tomorrow at noon Pacific time at Orleans Arena. Obviously, the Lobes are on a 26-game winning streak, 29-2 overall. Won the WAC regular season title pretty much with ease. So that's who they get to face. And then Southern Utah and Utah Tech are in the men's game at 2:30 here at Burns Arena. And the winner gets to face one seed Utah Valley, who went 15-1 in WAC play. Pretty impressive season by Todd Phillips and his crew to win the WAC regular season title outright, to win the Coach of the Year, Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, it's pretty good for the Wolverines. So, with that being said, I keep getting scam calls. I'm sorry, guys. We're about 34 minutes from tip here at Burns Arena for this first playing. And so we're going to talk about the men's game right now, Daryl. Some interesting information. Southern Utah, who is already banged up with Tavy Jones. Sorry, not Tavy Jones. Tavy Nelson being out for the season with a knee injury. Percy Miller is also out today. They're one of their guys that comes off the bench who can contribute offensively. So that's big news for Southern Utah. Dom Ford still not 100%. So, I mean, even though they have Brock Felder, who led the WAC in block shots, and they have Jameer Simpson, who is the second team all WAC selection. I like Utah Tech in this ball game this afternoon. They're healthy. They're on their home floor where they play a little bit better. Even though Southern Utah beat them a couple of weeks ago here on this floor, man, it's just Southern Utah's so banged up that it makes it hard to pick the team.
Yeah, I mean, one of the biggest things about succeeding in March is being healthy at the right time. And it sounds like the T-Birds, although they've been competitive this year, they're not healthy at the right time. And that makes me want to take Utah Tech at home. And honestly, the fact that they beat Tarleton State at home, they've hung around with some, Utah Valley at home for nearly that entire ball game, all the way to the end.
Sorry, it was Tavi Jackson, not Tavi Nelson. I'm sorry, that's my bad. Tavy Jackson, excuse me, that's how you say it. Anyways, he is out for Southern Utah. Same with Percy Miller. It might be a long day for the T-Birds, we'll see. But talking with my good friend Tennessee Owens, they want to win their competitors. They're going to play hard. Like, that's all they can do, right? They just got to play hard. And here's the thing. Utah Tech plays better at home, but still they haven't won a close game yet, right? They've lost, 14 straight since starting WAC play 2-0. They had the 2-point loss in overtime here to Utah Valley, where they had a chance to hit a 3 at the buzzer, but Deion Riley's 3 hit back iron. They came back from down 20 twice against the Wolverines in the first half. John Judkin's team plays hard. Like, they play hard. They lack a little bit of talent. They lack a guy that just can take over. Adiba Awana, he is really good and could be that guy. He's still kind of raw. And so, is this the day that Utah Tech, gets that close win?
I mean, I think no better time like the present. I mean, that, and you got some incentive there because, Utah Valley's right there around the corner, and you were right with them in the Burns and
Twice,
for
not
about a
just
half
once,
in Orem.
twice. They've led at halftime in Orem. Like, so Utah Tech, who knows? Could they play with Utah Valley if they were to win this game today? Could they play with Utah Valley tomorrow at Orleans Arena, where Utah Valley has lost 3 straight games? I don't know. Like, it's intriguing. I mean, to play back-to-back rivalry games in the WAC tournament, and it's going to be the same for either Utah Tech or Southern Utah, whoever wins this game. Like, it's crazy how those play out.
Has it ever happened where, I mean, this is only, the third year we've had all 3 Utah schools in the conference together.
2023, Utah Tech had to play Southern Utah in the quarters where it went to overtime. And then Southern Utah had to play Utah Valley the following night and came back from 26 down to beat the Wolverines in the WAC semifinals in 2020. So it's been done. It's just crazy.
Well, let's just say if it happens to Utah Valley again, they might want to bring some kind of a exorcist to the Orleans.
Yeah. It's a great question. Alec with the question here. Do you think GCU is a lock to win it all, or does Seattle U have a shot? I have a hard time seeing UVU win it all because they haven't really won in Vegas. Why? Okay, a couple things here. GCU is not a lock to win it. No. I think that they, because of their track record at Orleans Arena, I think they're the favorite. That's why. And if they get Ty Grant Foster, they're going to be even more of a favorite, right? If he's back. But the way that they played, I don't think they're a lock at all. I think Seattle U can make some noise, but, I mean, playing ACU in that quarterfinal game on Thursday, that's not an easy ball game, right? So they got to get past that. The other thing is, the Seattle U, can they score enough to stay with a team that can score, that matches up with them size-wise and so forth? So that's a big question. But they could do it. Chris Victor has an experienced squad. And, I mean, Matthew Alexander Moncrief is one of the best in the league, man. Like, I love that guy and love watching him play. I still don't – this is the second time I've heard this. I have a hard time seeing UVU win it all because they haven't really won it. We've talked about that, where they've lost 3 straight. We get it, whatever. There's another podcast I listened to yesterday where they said they don't trust Utah Valley. Let me tell you something, guys. Utah Valley won the most games away from the UCC, away from their home floor this year among WAC teams. Like, I don't understand this notion that they can't win it or they don't, like they're not going to win it. I don't think this is – I don't know. I have a hard time when people say that. Like, take a look at their record, which I'm going to do right now. Away from Orem, they're 10-6. Nobody else has even 6 wins away from their home gym. Okay, now I'm not saying they're going to win it all, but, like, do not sleep on the Wolverines. They're 15-1 for a reason. People say, well, it's a lot of luck. It is a lot of luck, but any team that finishes 15-1 or 16-0 in their league usually has to have some kind of luck. Okay, and the other thing is they can go on scoring droughts and not panic. That's the big thing. They don't panic, and then they're able to come back and finish ball games strong like they did against Tarleton State the other night. I just don't sleep on Utah Valley. Like, even though they haven't had a ton of success at Orleans Arena, they've only been to the WAC semifinals. They've never been to a WAC title game. Don't sleep on them. Like, don't sleep on them. I think GCU is the favorite, and I think they're going to win it. But don't sleep on Utah Valley. That's all I have to say. So it'll be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. And maybe if Utah Valley gets over that hump, Daryl, you talked about it, gets over that hump of maybe getting that win tomorrow in that quarterfinal game, maybe that sparks them a little bit, for the next couple of days. Because they get a day off, too, to get ready for the WAC semifinals as well.
That's true. That day off does favor both the 1 and 2 seeds because you're not playing 3 games in 3 days. You're playing 3 games in 4.
Yep.
And there's a world of difference. I mean, like for example, in the Horizon League, they play their first couple rounds on campus.
Yep.
I was watching their women's final just before we went on air here, and then they go to their neutral site, which is, I believe, it's in Indianapolis, but they're asking those teams just to play a back-to-back. I mean, you played back-to-backs in high school; you're used to it.
It'll be very interesting to see what we get. So, everybody, we're going to wrap this up. There's about 25 minutes to tip here at Burns Arena. It'll be on ESPN Plus. Carrick Siegmiller and Kendra Sheehan will be on the broadcast. Should be a fun one here to start the day. Like I said, we got the 8-9 game here for the women. Utah Tech at the 8 seed, Seattle U at the 9 seed, and then right after that it'll be Southern Utah, the 8 seed on the men's side, and Utah Tech, the 9 seed, taking the floor here at Burns Arena. Both winners get the 1 seeds on their respective brackets, and it's going to be a fun trip. After the game, I'm going to be heading down to Las Vegas. May even go to the West Coast Conference Championship game tonight. We'll see what happens. So, everybody, thanks for tuning in. Daryl, get feeling better, and we'll see you. We'll see you post game after the men's game. We'll break it down and break down what we saw here in the women's game as well. So, everybody, enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you after the ball games are over.
Thanks for listening to the Straight Outta WAC podcast. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and other podcasting platforms. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. Remember to follow WAC Hoops Nation on all your favorite social media platforms.